This is Pulse of Africa, the face and voice of Africa. The story of resurgent and burgeoning Africa is here, only on the Pulse of Africa channel. Pulse of Africa, the face and voice of Africa.
Hello, I'm Gamatisa Mandira, your news host for this hour. Join us as we bring you the newest stories, updates from Africa. In a major milestone for the country's education sector, Malawi has launched a new national curriculum framework aimed at equipping learners with the skills, creativity and innovation needed to achieve Malawi's Vision 2063. Malawi replaces outcome-based curriculum with a competency-based one to make learning practical, inclusive and globally competitive. Malawi Institute of Education Executive Director Dr. Frank Mtengambombe said this curriculum is about equipping learners not just to pass exams but to live, work and innovate in a fast-changing world. It is a curriculum for Malawi's future relevant, inclusive and globally competitive, he added. Teacher education has also been upgraded, with primary teacher training now offered at diploma and degree levels to boost professional standards. The curriculum further integrates digital literacy, promote gender equality and ensure inclusion of learners with disabilities and those in rural areas. The new curriculum aligns with Sustainable Development Goal 4, which advocates for inclusive, equitable and quality education for all, positioning Malawi's education system as a key driver of national transformation under the Malawi 2063 vision. The UAE has announced a $6 billion tourism investment mapping initiative aimed at boosting economic and infrastructure ties with Africa. Launched at the UAE Africa Tourism Investment Summit 2025 in Dubai, the plan targets job creation, connectivity and sustainable tourism growth across the continent. UAE Minister of Economy and Tourism Abdullah bin Tok Al Mari said the initiative will generate around 70,000 jobs in multiple African countries through projects spanning aviation, logistics, infrastructure and the digital sector. Between 2019 and 2023, UAE investments in Africa topped $110 billion, positioning the Gulf nation as the fourth largest investor on the continent after the US, China and the European Union. More than $70 billion of that funding supported renewable and green energy ventures. Al-Mari emphasized that tourism remains among the UAE's top 5 investment sectors in Africa, alongside energy and real estate. The new initiative reflects the Emirates' long-term vision of linking investment with sustainable development and climate goals. The summit-themed Building Bridges for Sustainable Growth also featured United Nations World Tourism Organization Secretary General-elect Sheikh Nasser Al-Noais, who highlighted that global tourism contributed $10.9 trillion to the world's GDP in 2024, 10% of the global economy. Abuja is gearing up for futuristic transformation aimed at placing Nigeria firmly on the global smart city map. Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Ezwo-Wike, told world leaders at the 2025 Asia-Pacific Cities Summit and NAOS Forum in Dubai that Abuja is advancing a smart city vision driven by major investments. He said the initiative aims to transform Abuja into a modern, inclusive and globally competitive city, positioning Nigeria's capital as a model for innovation and sustainable urban development in Africa. He elaborated that the city's transformation is driven by investment in urban mobility, sustainability, public service, digital governance and economic empowerment. He noted ongoing collaborations with global partners including JICA on smart water metering, Chinese-backed intelligent traffic lights, and projects like the Abuja City Walk and Industrial Park as part of efforts to boost infrastructure and attract investors. According to Wike, the initiative aligns with President Bola Tinubu's renewed Hope agenda, aiming to create a modern, connected and livable city that meets the needs of residents while promoting green development and economic resilience. He described Abuja as a purpose-built, ever-evolving city with a clear master plan anchored on efficient service delivery and a vision to become one of Africa's leading smart capitals. Africa's CDC has received an additional 110,000 doses of Mpox vaccines from Bavarian Nordic to bolster the continent's response to the ongoing outbreak. The vaccines have been allocated to Uganda, one of the countries most affected by Mpox in 2025, through the Mpox Access and Allocation Mechanism coordinated by Africa's CDC in collaboration with international health partners. Africa's CDC Director General Dr. Jean Kasia said the donation marks a significant step in strengthening Uganda's outbreak response and advancing Africa's goal of equitable access to life-saving health tools. He emphasized that continued collaboration with partners like Bavarian Nordic is vital to achieving a prepared, self-reliant and resilient Africa in the face of public health threats. With this new batch, Bavarian Nordic has donated a total of 165,000 doses of NVA-PN vaccine to Africa. Previous contributions supported outbreak responses through Africa's CDC, the European Commission's Health Emergency Preparedness and Response Authority, and Gavi-eligible countries. Bavarian Nordic President and CEO Paul Chaplin said Mpox remains a health emergency across Africa, underscoring the importance of sustained vaccine availability and funding. Through the Mpox Access and Allocation Mechanism, Africa's CDC continues to ensure equitable distribution of vaccines and medical countermeasures to affected member states in line with the new public health order for Africa. The peace process in the Central African Republic (CAR) has regained momentum since the April 19 ceasefire, the UN's top envoy Valentin Rugwabiza told the Security Council. Rugwabiza, head of the UN peacekeeping mission, said implementation of the ceasefire along with disarmament and demobilization operations has led to tangible security gains in central and northwest regions. She described the December 28 elections as a turning point to strengthen state authority and institutional stability. However, the envoy warned that challenges remain in the southeast and northeast border areas due to Sudanese conflict spillovers. She also expressed concern that budget cuts could undermine the mission's operational effectiveness during this critical period. Kenya's vision to become Africa's powerhouse for agricultural innovation has taken a bold step forward with TTT Agri's announcement to locally manufacture advanced silicon-based agricultural solutions. The initiative supports the government's flagship Making Kenya program, which aims to promote local production, create jobs, and strengthen the country's manufacturing base. The move is set to promote local production, create jobs, and accelerate the country's transition toward science-driven sustainable farming. Announcing the plan at the 2025 Africa International Agriculture Expo in Nairobi, TTT Agri CEO Robin Baines said the company aims to revolutionize African agriculture through innovation tailored to the continent's unique soil and crop needs. We are proud to embrace Making Kenya vision, producing world-class solutions right here at home for African market, he said. Baines revealed that a team of international and Kenyan scientists will collaborate to develop next-generation silicon technologies that restore soil health, enhance crop resilience, and reduce dependence on chemical inputs. He highlighted the silicon ability to strengthen plants, improve water retention, and balance soil microbes will be key to advancing regenerative agriculture. He added that the initiative showcases Africa's growing role as both the world's emerging breadbasket and a hotbed for agricultural innovation. The Democratic Republic of Congo has launched a national green jobs initiative aimed at tackling unemployment and promoting sustainable economic growth. During the workshop, 3 strategic tools were validated: the National Directory covering 84 green professions, the National Development Plan and an interministerial decree to guide implementation. The program aims to train 100,000 women and youth, create decent jobs and develop sustainable sectors including recycling, renewable energy, forest management and green hydrogen. The DRC will no longer settle for being the lungs of the world. It will also be the global factor for green jobs, Prime Minister Judith Suminwa Tuluka said. The initiative's alignment with the government's action program and international climate commitments, she stated. The green economy is positioned as a major driver of opportunities, innovation and economic sovereignty for Congolese youth, supporting both national development and global sustainability goals.
They shaped history. They inspired generations. They are the notables. Join us as we honor Africa's greatest minds and trailblazers, the notables, celebrating Africa's icons.
Moving to business news, the third summit on financing infrastructure development in Africa opened Tuesday in Luanda, Angola, bringing together African heads of state, African Union officials, and global investors to address the continent's $100 billion infrastructure financing gap. Organized by AUDA and EPAD and the African Union Commission in partnership with the Angolan government, the summit features investment pitch sessions and negotiation rooms where African governments present projects across energy, transport, digital and water sectors. Key initiatives including the Lobito Corridor, LAPSET and the Single African Electricity Market are being showcased to secure funding for regional integration, trade and universal energy access. President João Lourenço, current African Union chairperson, highlighted infrastructure as a cornerstone of Agenda 2063, calling for the mobilization of all available resources, including domestic capital from African pension and sovereign wealth funds. The summit also emphasizes climate-aligned investments, digital infrastructure and AI-driven solutions to improve service delivery and financial inclusion. African Union Commission Chairperson Mohamed Ali Yusuf urged Africa to take ownership of its development, stressing that external financing should support, not drive, growth. We must move from a logic of assistance to a logic of alliance, where partners align their engagement with priorities defined by Africa itself, he said. Through the summit, Africa aims to position itself as a global leader in sustainable infrastructure development while mobilizing the $1.3 trillion needed to implement the Continent Power Master Plan and achieve universal energy access by 2040. Finally, S&P Global Ratings said African regional development creditors are poised to expand lending to fill national financing gaps as capital buffers strengthen and new frameworks increase their borrowing headroom. The ratings agency said Africa's supranational lenders are increasingly central to plugging investment shortfalls and stabilizing economies as external financing tightens. With climate and infrastructure funding dominating their pipelines, S&P expects regional creditors to take on a larger role through 2025. In its October release of the Supranationals 2025 special edition, S&P said updates to its multilateral lending institution framework could lift risk-adjusted capital ratios by about 10%, potentially unlocking $600 to $800 billion in additional sovereign lending capacity by development banks. S&P uses the measure to judge how much more an issuer can safely lend without weakening its credit profile. A higher ratio means a stronger ability to absorb losses. S&P identified the African Development Bank, East African Development Bank, African Trade and Investment Development Insurance, and Arab Bank for Economic Development in Africa as key players. African Development Bank has kept its AAA rating with extremely strong capital adequacy, expanding its portfolio to $27.3 billion in 2024 and signaling plans to scale up both sovereign and private sector lending in coming years, the report said. Next, let's check the current weather forecast. That's it for now. Thank you for watching and goodbye.